Do I have permission to videotape you and ask you questions about 9/11?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Okay, so first question. Recreate the moment of September 2001, that you became aware of a major international crisis occurring in the continental United States of America.
Yeah, I happened to be working from home at the time. I was in my living room, our first house, and a lot of times when I worked from home, I had the TV on in the background, with the morning news on. And I remember after the first plane hit, all this news coverage, so I turned it on, and there was a bombing in the World Trade Center a few years before. So when the thing was on fire and the plane had hit, I kind of thought it was probably a terrorist attack, but the news wasn't sure. They weren't saying that. They were saying, it could have been an aircraft accident. And then live on TV, I saw the second plane hit the tower. And then I knew at that point, just seeing the size of the plane, that it was intentional and that this was a terrorist attack. So that's kind of the moment that I think I knew, it was a terrorist attack.
Second question. What do you recall personally of the next few days after the attack?
Yeah, it was weird the next few days. People weren't even going to work in some cases. Downtown Philadelphia had emptied out that day, and people weren't sure if there was like a second wave, who was doing this, if it was some large organization. So the next few days were just weird. People worked from home, they had office jobs. Other people just didn't go to work. It was the next 3 days it was just strange. You could tell that it was just a major event and nothing like this had ever happened before, and people just didn't know how to handle it really, and just in a lot of cases their livestock for 3 days. So yeah, the 3 days afterward, it was very weird. Yeah.
Do you remember how the government reacted to the incident?
I do. I remember right away, George Bush was kind of known as like this, he's kind of a goofball president. And then, he goes to the site, of 9/11. It was a few days later. There's still the rubble and there's still smoke burning. And then, the country kind of like united behind this guy that they really didn't, they weren't fans of before. And then, of course, a few days later, he does a speech, national televised speech. That's when you learn about the country of Afghanistan for the first time. He talks about Afghanistan, the Taliban. And basically these are the people that plotted this, Osama bin Laden. And so the government, reacted very well. Right away, you could tell that the country kind of banded together. I think the president was appropriate, and then a few days later, it wasn't a few months. If I remember, it was a few days, maybe up to a week, maybe not even. But there was the national speech, which the president doesn't do that often. But nationally, he had this speech, just talked about Afghanistan, the Taliban, what they've done, what they're doing there, training camps, and basically said, at that point you knew we were going to go to war, with Afghanistan.
And last question. Do you know anyone who was directly involved in the incident?
I know indirectly of some people. I work with people. I have, clients up in the New York area. And, I know indirectly, nobody personally. Most of the people, in our circle were kind of, locals of the Philadelphia area. But, I do know people indirectly that were, clients and whatnot that were, impacted, one way or another, whether they were from the area up there or worked in the World Trade Center, at a point in time. So nobody really close, but yeah, indirectly, a few people.
All right, well, that's it. Thank you.